All right, time to close this one now. Week 7 pick'ems coming in early as I do always on Tuesday nights here. We're going to start it off Thursday night. Both teams 2 and 4. Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, to think about that this was one of the most anticipated games of the season. When these two teams would meet, they would meet twice a year. 2 years ago, when both of these teams were maybe the two best teams in the NFC. They were two of the best teams in the NFL. So the drastic change that both sides have, you've seen for both teams this year. I do definitely think Seattle gets a win here. I just don't think San Francisco is very good, and as big as the rivalry is, I think it's a big game for Seattle to come out and make a huge statement. This is not a team that is accustomed to having a losing record after 6 weeks, and I don't think that they are the dominant Seahawks that we've seen the past 2 years. But I think they are better than what their record says, and they're better what they've shown. I think the defense comes out and is all over Colin Kaepernick and company. I think Russell Wilson is also going to have a pretty good game, not only throwing, but I think that he'll have a nice game with his legs, in all honesty. That is going to be, maybe my bold prediction of the week. I'm not sure how bold that is, but I think I think Russell Wilson has a really good game on the ground this coming week. Then Sunday, getting it started off early again, going to Wembley Stadium in London. The Bills Jaguars counts as a home game for Jacksonville, which I still don't think is fair. The fact that a team has to forfeit a home game, that's not fair. That's not fair to the team or to the fans. But it is what it is. But for this one, I think Buffalo is going to be. It's going to be a tough game for them. But I do think they get a win. I still think that they have a pretty good defense. And the way LeSean McCoy looked last week is really what I think I'm going to be banking this on. He looked sharp. He had a LeSean McCoy type game, a rushing touchdown, 90-plus yards. He looked really good. In Jacksonville, defensively, is just not good, being honest. Arian Foster had a very good game against them. And also, Arian Foster had a very good game against them, and obviously DeAndre Hopkins tore them apart. Blake Bortles has looked really good. Last 3 games, 298 yards. That's 3 games ago, and then the last 2 gone 300 plus. Through 4 touchdowns in one of those 300 plus games, and then 3 in the last. I did have 3 picks though last week, which is rough. So for that reason, I think that Buffalo, they're going to be able to pick off Blake Bortles a little bit here. I think that their running game will be steady, and I think that Buffalo gets themselves a much-needed victory if they want to keep themselves in the playoff hunt out in the AFC. Now, Tampa-Washington, definitely not an exciting game. I'm going to go with the Redskins here, and I'm really going to be keeping my eye on if DeSean Jackson finally suits up. I really think that D-Jax has a breakout game when he finally steps on the field. It's just really a matter of when that is going to be. Washington home, Tampa Bay, they are coming off the bye, but the Bucs, they're just not that great this season, although Doug Martin has been pretty good his past 2 outings. But Mike Evans, definitely in a sophomore slump. Jameis Winston, he's a rookie. He's not going to be showing, anything too crazy this year. So for that reason, I definitely think Washington gets a win here. Then you have the Falcons traveling to Tennessee. Now, this is what I was talking about early on in the show about this team's ridiculously easy schedule, as if the Falcons weren't going to be favored over Tennessee to begin with. Marcus Mariota likely not to play. This would be considered the lock of the week. That's how I'm going to label it. The Falcons 5-1, even if it's not that great of a 5-1, they should beat the Marcus Mariota-less Tennessee Titans. I don't care where the game is played. This needs to be a win for the Falcons, and it should be a win for the Falcons. Drew Brees and the Saints are going to be now going to Indianapolis. Saints got a big win against the against the Falcons, and Drew Brees has looked much better since coming off that one game that he missed. So for that reason, I think this is going to be a good one, but I don't think it's going to be one that the Saints win. Like I said earlier, I think the Colts are going to start winning some games a bit more convincingly than what we've seen. I think they're going to look better than what we've seen. More of a representation of what we saw from the Colts in the first half of that Patriot game. I think Andrew Luck is going to step his game up now and play much better football the rest of the way. Tough game here to pick. The Vikings going to Detroit. Detroit picking up finally their first win behind a huge game, 400-plus yards and 4 touchdowns for Matt Stafford. The question is, can he continue it? For me, the answer, I think, is going to be yes. I do think that Stafford can. I think that that's how this team is going to win games. Me and my little brother Connor talk about it a lot with this team. They always try to, act like they have a running game. They try to say, oh, yeah, respect our run, and then they're in 3rd and long, and it's a terrible situation for Stafford. This team cannot be scared to just let Stafford sling it all over the field. Golden Tate, Calvin Johnson, get Eric Ebron involved. The running back that they're now going to have to turn to in Theo Riddick, it's a pass-catching running back. Turn to your different options and just let Stafford go pass happy. I'm not saying pull a Charger and let him throw the ball 63 times, but let him throw the ball. That's how you're going to win if you're Detroit. Detroit's much better than 1-5, and I think they need to show that here. If they can get 2 wins back-to-back, especially in division, that would be big for this team. Pittsburgh up against Kansas City. Now, this is a tough game here because I think Kansas City's, their season's really shot here. And the Steelers are 4-2. As far as, skill goes, I don't know if anyone's got the Steelers beat as far as skill. The problem is, though, Big Ben still looks like a long shot to play, and Vic apparently now has lost a job to, I believe his name is Landry Jones, the 3rd-string quarterback. He didn't look terrible against the Cardinals. He did get a victory. The thing is, though, the Chiefs are going home, and I really feel that Arrowhead Stadium is owed a victory here. This is not me holding on by a thread to the hope that the Chiefs have a good season. I don't think that that's really in the realm of possibility anymore, but I do think that the Chiefs get a win. But let me say this. If Big Ben is playing, Steelers by a lot. Steelers by a lot. But right now, going off the fact that I think the 3rd-string quarterback, for the Steelers is going to be starting this game, I got the Chiefs. Now, another game that is not going to be gluing your eyes to the TV at all is going to be the Browns going to the Rams. You know what? I got the Browns, honestly. Rams always lose games that they're supposed to win. Their victories coming up against the Cardinals and the Seahawks. They always lose the games they're supposed to win. And the Browns have kind of looked a little bit better. You got to give them credit. I mean, they took the Broncos to overtime. They had a big win up against the Ravens. Maybe Josh McCown's not too bad after all. Those cries for Johnny Manziel, not as loud as they were once. I think the Browns get a win here. Pardon me, gonna try to push through here. A little bit of a cough, but Jets going to New England. I got the Patriots winning. Foxborough and Lambeau. I said it. There's something about them. You don't really feel like you can win there. And until someone kind of proves me wrong, I'm going to be picking those teams when they're home. I got the Pats. I do think the Jets give them a close game. Wouldn't surprise me if the Jets actually could pull it out. I do think the Jets are that good. Then you are going to have... Oh, I actually apologize. I almost skipped it. Texans going to Miami. Miami's looked amazing last week against the Titans. Their defense showed up. Lamar Miller finally showed up. Ryan Tannehill had a good game. I think they continue that. Like I said, the Texans are just not that good. Teams really keying in and trying to do their best to eliminate J.J. Watt. As good as DeAndre Hopkins is and an Arian Foster is, this team's just kind of struggling to win games, and I think that continues. Dolphins get another big win, and a win that really does keep them in the hunt for the playoffs. The Raiders going to San Diego. If Phillip Rivers' arm doesn't fall off by halftime, I do think the Chargers actually get a win here. I think that they're to me they're a good home team. I think that they do very, very good there, and I just think that it's a game where Phillip Rivers is going to have to win it, and I think he can win it. Now, the two games that will be left on the slate for Sunday, amazing games here. Dallas going to MetLife to face the Giants. Matt Castle's first time getting a start, and then I think I just got the update. Daniel Murphy just hit another home run. So there's that. Wow, that's just amazing. But the Cowboys going to MetLife, I definitely think the Giants get a huge win. I think they can. If the Cowboys get a win here, the Cowboys aren't out of it then. They're actually going to be in the hunt if they can get a win here. That would have, that would be huge. That would be 2 wins over the Giants. That would have them 3-0 in the division. So if they did that, that would be really amazing. But I think that the Giants get a win here. I think that they can bounce back. The Eagles going to Carolina. A big game here, big test for the Eagles. Can they make it 3 straight? Panthers rolling undefeated. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think right now the key is the fact that they're starting to trust DeMarco. DeMarco's getting it going. The offensive line's getting it going. And I think that they can get a win here on the road in Carolina. Final game of the week is Monday night. Baltimore going to Arizona. The Ravens are atrocious. They've dealt with injury problems, but they're just horrible, being completely honest. They just took a loss to the 49ers, and I think the Cardinals get themselves another victory here. Now, that is all you got for Week 7, and that is all the time I have here on WICR. Kevin Walsh signing off on this Tuesday night. Join WICR tomorrow, Wednesday. We always do it 5 days a week. We will see you guys then.